Hey guys, welcome to my channel. Thank you so much for joining me and please consider subscribing. Today's tutorial will be on the triangle pattern and I'll be using this pattern to make a black and white beaded belt. It's a Zulu belt. So the beads that I'm using are the big beads. I'm using the big beads, and what you will need is of course your black beads, your white beads. This is the type of thread that I use. It's upholstery thread, and you will need a needle. So you put your thread through your needle and you make two knots, one on top of the other at the end. So first we're just going to grab one black bead, because we'll start with the color black, and pull it through the thread until the very end, and then go on to the other side of the bead and push our needle through and pull the needle through that bead. Okay, this will make your work secured. It will secure your work, that all of the other beads, when you work, that your beads don't fall out. Okay, so next I'm going to still grab the black beads, but I'm going to grab 12 beads. So now I have my 12 beads. You don't count this bead that you put in at the beginning. So we count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So now I have my 12 beads. So next I am going to grab 4 black beads. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. See, then I am going to insert these 4 black beads into the work that I've already done. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 4 beads, and I'm going to put my needle into the 4th bead. Okay, and I'm gonna pull it all the way through. After we grab the 4 beads, we have to now take 3 beads. So 1, 2, 3. Okay, again we count 1, 2, 3, 4. We insert our needle and pull it all the way through. Okay, again we'll take 3 beads, 1, 2, 3, and count again 4 beads, 1, 2, 3, 4, and we insert our needle. Okay, so now we have our first 2 lines just like that. Okay, now let's go into our 3rd line. We'll still grab our black beads. We'll grab 1, 2, 3, 4, because we are going into our 3rd line. So where will we insert our next? Where will we insert our needle next? So we see here that the pattern has created 3 beads. We'll put it into the middle bead every time. So we put our needle into the middle bead and we pull it through. Now that we've started the new line, our 3rd line, we're now going to start grabbing 3 beads. So now we take 3 beads again. 2, 3, and again 1, 2, 3. We put it into the 2nd bead and we pull it all the way through. Okay, so now that we've done our first 3 lines, now we're gonna start with the white triangle. So when do you know when to begin your new triangle? So I'll show you with this that I've already made. I'm sorry, but this one has the border. We will not be doing the border today. It's just that I can't find one without the border. This is the arm cuff that I just made. So do you see here? This is where we are. This is where we are, like this. So we are right here. So this part serves as the top of your triangle. Then we'll carry on like this. So since we are at the top of this triangle, which is a half triangle because we are at the beginning, we will now have to start our new triangle. Please let me not confuse you with the border, just showing you when do you start introducing your new color once you get to the tip of your triangle. Okay, so we are now going to grab our white. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're grabbing 4 because it's our new line. Okay, so again, find the middle bead, insert our needle, and pull. And pull the thread through. So now, if you notice, now we've started with our new color. But we still have to carry on finishing up this previous triangle, okay? So right now what we've done is this, but we still have to carry on with all of this. We still have to make the triangle. So we need to go back to the black beads now and grab 3 beads. 1, 2, 3. We find our middle bead, put our needle in, and pull. Okay. Again, 1, 2, 3 black beads. Find our middle bead, and pull our needle out. Okay. Now we turn, and we start a new line. We are taking 4 beads. 1, 2, 3, 4. Again, we find our middle bead. 1, 2, 3 beads. This one is at the middle. You push your needle into it, and you pull your needle through on the other side. So again, we grab 1, 2, 3 beads because we've already began our new line, and we push our needle through and pull. So now, do you see now that this triangle is already being formed here? So now we're connecting into the new triangle that we introduced, the white triangle. So we have to now grab our white beads. 1, 2, 3 white beads. We find our middle bead, which is 1, 2. This one is our middle bead. And we pull our needle through. Okay. So now we're starting a new line. But this new line has already fallen into our new triangle. Okay. It's already fallen into our new triangle, this triangle here. So this is what it looks like. So we have to carry on with our white beads. So we'll grab 1, 2, 3, 4 white beads. Okay, we find our middle bead, and we push our needle through it. again, we're still forming parts of the white triangle. So 1, 2, 3 white beads. Okay, you see. Now, if you look at our pattern, we are now going into the black triangle. We need to finish off this triangle until it gets to its point. Okay, so we grab 3 black beads, sorry, and we insert them. We push them through all the way through. I'm sorry about that. I don't know if you guys can hear that noise, but let me try and keep it quiet. Okay, so I hope the noise is less now. So let's carry on. So now we have to start a new line. We have to grab 4 beads, and the 4 beads that we're grabbing are our black beads because we have to send this triangle into an end so that we can have one straight line for a triangle like so. Okay, so we'll grab 4 black beads, and we find our middle bead, push our needle through, make sure our work is nice and tight and it's not loose. Okay, so I don't know if you can see now, the pattern is already forming. So now we have this line of this first triangle of ours. So if we already have this line, it means now that we are now into our white triangle. So the next 3 beads we're grabbing is our white beads. So 1, 2, 3 white beads. We find our middle bead and we insert. Okay, and then again we're carrying on with the white triangle. 1, 2, 3. We find our middle bead and we insert. Okay, so now we are turning around, right? We are starting our new line. So we grab 4 white triangles. We grab 4 white beads. 4. We find our middle bead. So now we're carrying on with our white triangle. Again, when we find our middle bead, our pattern forms 3 beads. And the middle one will be from the 3, the second one, this one, the one that sticks out, this one. Okay, so we grab our 3 beads. 1, 2, 3. And we push it through. Okay, so what color are we going to carry on with now that we've gotten to the top? We have to carry on with our white color because now we're making our white triangle. Okay, so 1, 2, 3 white beads. We find our middle bead and we pull through. So what do we do now that we've reached this end? If you notice our black triangle here, our half triangle that we made at the beginning, it doesn't have a tip. So it's not finished. We need to finish it. So we are going to grab 1 black bead to finish this triangle, okay? So this black bead serves to finish up like so. Okay, so we have one black bead. Now after this triangle, we need to now make the points for the white one. So we'll grab one black bead to finish the triangle, and then 3 white beads to carry on with our white pattern. Okay, 2, 3. So we have 4 beads in total, because when we start a new line, we do 4 beads. So here's our 4 beads. Let me push them together. Here's our 4 beads. 1 is black, 3 are white. 1 is black and 3 are white. So we find our middle bead, insert it in, and pull. Okay, so now you see this triangle, the black triangle, is now complete. Okay, and now we are forming our white triangle. So this white triangle will then have to go like this and then meet at this point. Okay, so now that we are in our white triangle, we're going to grab 3 white beads. 1, 2, 3. We find the bead in the middle, we insert and we pull our needle and thread through. We grab 3 white beads again, and again we pull our needle and thread through. So we begin a new line of our white triangle. Now we grab 4 white beads, four. We find our middle bead, and we put through our needle just like that. Again we grab 3 beads. Once you figure out this pattern, it becomes very repetitive, and it's a very simple and easy pattern. Okay, so now again 3 beads, 2, 3. We find our middle bead, we pull. Okay,
Okay, so now if you look carefully, we've reached the point of that white triangle where it comes to an edge, which means now that we have to begin our black triangle. So since we're starting a new line, we will grab 4 beads, we'll find our middle bead, and we will insert our thread and needle through the middle bead and we'll pull. But however, we have not completed that white triangle. We haven't brought it to that point where it makes a perfect triangle. So we have to carry on with the white triangle, but we are not yet starting a new line. So we grab 3 white beads, we find our middle bead, we insert our thread and needle and we pull. So we carry on with the pattern like that until we reach our new line. So we grab 3 beads again, 3 white beads, we find our middle bead, we insert and we pull. So now we are starting a new line. So we have to grab 4 beads, 4 white beads, since we are still in the white triangle. So we grab 4 white beads, we find our middle bead and we put our needle and thread through the middle bead and we pull our 4 beads through. So we're still carrying on with that white triangle. So we grab 3 more beads and we put in our 3 beads into that middle bead and we pull. So at this point you'll realize that we are now swapping back into the black triangle. Okay, So we've reached the point of the white triangle. It's now making sort of that perfect border to create the triangle. And now we are falling on the other side of that triangle. So that's how we know now that we should carry on with our black triangle. So we grab 3 black beads because we're not yet at a new line. We insert those, we put those 3 black beads into our middle bead, okay? And now we're starting a new line, so we will grab 4 black beads because now we are falling within the black beads, sort of the black triangle, okay? So we grab 4 black beads to sort of build, because now we're building the black triangle. So we grab our 4 beads, we find our middle bead, and we put our needle through, okay? Make sure that it's nice and tight and snug, okay? So again, we are still grabbing black beads, okay?
So we grab 1, 2, 3. We find our middle bead from our previous line and we pull our needle through. Okay, if you look properly now our black triangle has started to form, but we haven't completed our white triangle. Okay, so we go back to the white beads, we grab 3 of them, we find our middle bead, push our needle through and pull. Okay, still our triangle has not come to a point, the white triangle, so we still need to carry on with the white triangle. Okay, let's go this side. So we grab 4, 2, 3, 4. Okay, we find our middle bead and we insert. See, now if you look at our white triangle, it's now almost done. Okay, the sound of falling beads, and you find so many beads all over the floor when you finished working. Okay, so now we have to go into our black triangle. So the next 3 that we grab will be our black beads. We push them through and we pull our needle through. So we're gonna grab 3 more black beads because we're carrying on with our black triangle. We push our needle through. So now we begin our new line, which falls into our black triangle. So our new line, when you begin our new line, you always will grab 4. Okay, for this pattern we grab 4 and we pull. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Now find our middle bead and we pull. Again, we are still making our black triangle. We find our middle bead and we pull. Okay, so now if you notice, we again are almost done with our white bead, but it still doesn't come to a point here. So we're gonna grab our 1 white bead to finish the point. See, that would make it complete. So we need the 1 white bead to complete to the points of our triangle, and then we're gonna need our black beads to add to our black triangle. So it's 1 white bead and 3, 1, 2, 3 black beads. Okay, and we find our middle bead, and we make it nice and tight. See? Okay, I'm just gonna add to my thread. I'll be right back. I just wanted to show you guys that I actually double up my thread, okay? So I've done one line into the needle here, and then so I'll push in my second thread and I will have two threads, okay? So I double up my thread. I now have two threads going through the same needle, the same hole. Do you see what I did? So that I have four threads like so to make my thread strong, okay? So I'll pull my thread. Okay, so now that I've done my double thread, we go to the end of our thread. So we have four things of thread. Okay, we added just two threads, two lines, and I get to the end and I will tie a knot. But because of the size of my beads, I need two knots, because if you look, if I have one knot, my beads will just slide through because they're so big. So you will need two knots when you are still beginning. But now that I'm adding my thread, so I cut my needle out my thread. So this is the thread that I had left on my work. I will insert my needle into the bead where I last inserted the shorter thread, okay? So this one, I will insert my needle here, but because I am adding new thread, I only did one knot to make my work look clean, okay? Not two knots. So see, it still goes through, okay? So I'll pull my needle, I'll pull my thread into my beads, and I will take my new thread and the old short thread and I'll make a knot. Okay, see this knot that I tied when I pulled went into this bead just to make my work cleaner, so that I don't have lumps of knots all over my work when I'm done, because I will cut this, all of this, I'll cut it away, and then if you see here, it won't even show when I'm done cutting it that I had to insert thread here, okay? So now that we've done that, now that we've added our thread, we're carrying on. See, now we've added new thread. Now we're gonna grab 1, 2, 3 new beads. Okay, so we're carrying on with our black triangle. So we add 3 beads, and we pull nice and snug, and we start our new line. We're doing 4 beads, 3, 4. We find our middle bead, push our needle through and pull it out the other side. Okay, 3 beads. And please tell me if you did not understand how I joined the thread, okay? So that I can do a more in-depth video, but it is very simple. Once you get used to it, it won't be a problem. So we find our middle bead, and we pull it through. 3 beads again. We find the middle bead, push our needle through, and ooh, I have a knot. Okay, let me just untie this knot and I'll be back. The knot is untied and I will pull through. So now let's look at our pattern. Let me remove these. Let's look at our pattern now. Sorry. Okay, so this is where we are. Okay, we've done our white bead, we've done our white triangle, we have our black triangle started. So if you look, we are at the tip of our black triangle. So basically we're here. Now we're here, which means that now is the time where we will start our white triangle. Okay, so we will grab 4 white beads, form, and so here we've begun our white triangle. Okay, so now we will carry on with our black triangle because now it has to come to an end and make a proper triangle. We'll put in our needle, pull it through the other side of our middle bead. Our middle bead, if you count properly, our pattern makes 3 beads, and our middle bead will be the one at the very center of those. Okay, pull, make it nice and snug. Now we grab 1, 2, 3 beads, see, and we push our needle through and go to the other side. Okay, now we're still carrying on with our black triangle. So we're gonna grab our 4 beads, find our middle bead. See, here are 3 triangles, like they are the 3 beads that were formed by our pattern in our previous line. Okay, and the middle bead will be the one at the very center. Okay, okay, we pull and make sure that it's nice and snug. Okay, now we carry on with 3 beads, find our middle bead, pull our needle all the way through. Okay, so let's look at this pattern now. Now if you see, we've had this part done. Now our triangle is forming again. Okay, this would be the edge of our black triangle, so that means we have to carry on with our white triangle now. So the next 3 beads we're grabbing is our 3 white beads. 2, 3. You see, insert and pull. See, I hope the sun, I think we're still good. Our lighting is still good. I think I'll have to move soon because the sun is going down. Okay, so now we carry on with our white triangle. 2, sorry, so we have 2, 3, and 4. This pattern is very repetitive until you get to the end of your belt. Okay, so I will find my middle bead again, and I'll pull my needle all the way through. Okay, make sure it's nice and tight, our thread is nice and snug, and there's nothing that's loose. So, 3. Girl. 3. See, and we insert into the bead in the middle of our previous line. See, I'm sure now the pattern is starting to make sense. Now we have to finish off this triangle, the black triangle. So we'll grab 1, 2, 3 of our black beads, and we insert, and we pull on the other side of our middle bead. Okay, again, we're carrying on with our black triangle, and we are starting a brand new line. So we grab 4 black beads, we find our center. Oh, sorry, y'all. Sorry, I'm out of frame probably. Okay, now do you see we are forming this new triangle, this old triangle. Now we've got to carry on with the white triangle. Okay, so 3 white beads, 2, 3, we find the center, push our needle through and pull on the other end. Again, 3 white beads, find our center, push our needle through and pull to the other end. Now we're starting a brand new line, so we grab 4 of our white beads. 1, 3, and 4. Find the center, push our needle through, and pull all the way through. Okay, 1, 2, 3. Now find the center, push our needle through and pull it on the other end. Again, we're still carrying on with the white, so we grab out 3, we push our needle through and we pull all the way through. Okay, so again, we now have to finish off the black parts here, our black triangle. So it needs to again come to a point, because if you look at our pattern, we make a straight line and that straight line has to end here. Okay, so we again grab our 1 black bead and we need to now carry on our white triangle. So our 3 white beads are next. 1, 2. Okay, see, we did our 1 black and 3 whites because we need to finish this point. Okay, I'm going to pull them all the way through. Here we are. See, that point comes to an end, and now we find the middle bead from our previous line, insert and pull it all the way through, and now that triangle, we've closed it off, we finished it, and now we're carrying on with our white triangle. And this will be the pattern until you get to the very end of your belt. You'll have to do the same thing over and over again until you finish your belt, okay? Again, so see, this is what it's looking like. So we'll do this over and over again, repeatedly, putting in 4 beads when we start a new line, 3 beads in the middle of the line, and finding our bead in the middle out of our pattern, changing our color and making sure to close off the previous triangle with a point and make sure that it's nice and pointy on either side until we get to the end.